Hi, Ruth.
Hi, yeah.
Hi, my
Hey.
name is Ava. I'll be your counselor for
Hi,
today.
Ava.
How did you find the place?
Um, well, it was a little tricky at first, but eventually I ended up finding it okay.
That is fair. We are
Yeah.
kind of tucked away in the corner, makes it a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as our sessions progress, though, it'll make it a little bit
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah,
A bit of
how's the
practice.
weather out there?
It's good, actually. It's quite nice. Yeah,
Right?
it's almost warm out there today. Yeah.
Wow, it was
Yeah.
beautiful this morning. That sun beaming down on my face, driving to
Yeah.
work, it was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
That sunshine is just so healing. Oh, it's the best.
Right?
Yeah. Very nice.
So I'm just going to go over a little housekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about confidentiality just really quickly,
Mhm.
go over that. So basically confidentiality, the limit, like it stays, anything you tell me stays in these four walls and does not leave me. However, there are some limitations to that. So like if I suspect that you're going to harm yourself or others, if I suspect that a child under the age of 18 is being harmed or neglected, if a court subpoenaed my notes, then I would have to give those in as well. Or if somebody is using like their position of power inappropriately towards you, I would have to report that as well.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems
Do
okay.
you
Yeah.
agree to those?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm just going to go over our expectations really
Mhm.
quickly again. So if you need to cancel, please just let me know 3 days beforehand so we can change the time or
Yeah.
change the day or anything that works for you.
Yeah.
Um, and if you're arriving late, please just like let me know, send me a little email or something if you're able.
Yeah.
If not, just please try not to be here any later than 15 minutes.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I would just ask that you don't show up under any influences
For
or
sure.
anything like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna meet basically in the same room every Thursday for about 8 weeks.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
So last time we talked, I know you discussed that you are taking, like, you're caring for your grandkids, and it is financially tolling as well as like physically tolling,
Yeah.
especially because of your arthritis, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So I just want to get into a couple questions about that.
Mhm.
When did you become the primary caregiver?
I think it was about 3 years ago now that I took custody of the grandkids. Since my daughter was incarcerated. Yeah, I
Yeah.
took them over. That way they could avoid going into foster care. We just, between me and my daughter, we thought that's what was best, to keep them with family. So yeah, I took them into my care. Yeah, about 3 years ago. Yeah.
And on a scale from 1 to 10, how like challenging and overwhelmed and stressed has that kind of made you?
I'd have to give it well, there's the financial burden, kind of, yeah, financial burden of it, and the physical toll of it on my body. I'd have to give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah.
And um, what kind of helped you manage feeling stressed and overwhelmed back in the past before you were a primary caregiver?
Well, let's see. I like to meet together with folks from the church. We get together on Sundays and then sometimes Saturday mornings as well. We'll get together for breakfast and throughout the week. So I've got some friends there and support within the church community. And well, other than that, I love to bake. Baking is quite fun. And before the arthritis in my hands got really bad, I'd crochet all the time. Very, very fun. And I've slowed down a little bit on that, but yeah, and then sometimes just sitting on the porch with a cup of tea is nice, on a nice warm day. Those are ways I kind of like to manage stress. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna dive into a little bit of your family origin.
Yeah.
Who raised you growing up?
Well, my parents, they were all lovely folks. Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely folks. My mom and dad. And yeah, me and my mom were quite close, especially after, I was about 5. when my dad passed away. He was in the military and he died while on duty. And that was really tough for my mom and I and my brother. And, we relied on each other a lot through that. And that really gave us strength being together through that tough time. And that was tough. But no, they were good people, my parents. Yeah. Mm.
Really sorry to hear about your loss. How would you describe your relationship with your parents?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Just great. Yeah. My mom and I, were so close always and best of friends, like two peas in a pod, and my dad and I were close as well. He was a very sweet man, very kind and firm but kind. And from what I remember of him, he was just yeah, great man. Really good dad. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you say that you had any conflicts or like sibling rivalries or anything
Yeah.
like that growing up?
Yeah, well, me and my brother, he's older, David, we'd butt heads a lot. And growing up, he got to do things I couldn't, being a boy, you're raised different back in those days, right? Like you could, go out and about and wear jeans and do stuff that just wasn't allowed for me. And so, we butted heads a lot and a little bit of fighting there, but nothing too crazy, just general sibling kind of rivalry there. But yeah, somewhat. Yeah, but there. Yeah.
That's understandable. I feel like every sibling kind of has their
Yeah,
little tiffs once in
right?
a while.
Yeah.
Um, tell me more about like your closest with your mom.
Yeah, well, especially after losing my dad, we got really close then and always did stuff together, always baked together and would go out to the park and ride our bikes and do lots of fun stuff together. Yeah, and I'd do her hair and she would do my hair, and just fun stuff like that. Yeah, we were really close. She was a great mom, really great. We were best friends,
It's
truly.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, how would you say that your like upbringing and your parents' values kind of shaped how you parent and like how you treat your children and like what values you kind of instill?
Yeah, well, and I grew up in a different time, right? Where people, respected their elders and listened to them. Even elders you weren't related to. You respect the people older than you, and you show them kindness and respect. And and you're kind to all people, right? Even though the ones that aren't kind to you, you got to just be kind and treat others the way that you want to be treated, right? And I try to pass that on to the grandkids. I've instilled that in my daughter, I'd say. And yeah, just go through life and lead with love really is the key there, right? So yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, let's dive a little bit into your birth and childhood.
Yeah.
Were you born with any like health complications or ended up growing up with any health complications?
Well, I know when my mom was pregnant with me, um, I think she went to 42 weeks pregnant. I just wouldn't come out. I said, no, I'm staying right here. And so, a long pregnancy there for her must have been just a nightmare. Um, and yeah, so I was born and I know I was very colicky as a baby, and that kept for a lot of, sleepless nights for my parents and myself, and kind of a bit fussy at times, but overall pretty good. And no other real health. Oh, I had an inhaler growing up. I remember that, and yeah, I had some issues with breathing, but no, I just kept my inhaler on me and. Could keep up with the other kids, just take a puff of the inhaler and I'd be good to go. And other than that, nothing. Oh, I'm allergic to peanuts, so that I'd had to keep an eye out for. And but other than that, no, nothing too major for complications. Yeah, yeah.
Would you say that like your overall like childhood was safe? Like your
Oh
upbringing was
yeah,
safe?
absolutely. And I look at the the kids growing up today in society, and it's such a different world, you know? Things aren't as safe as they used to be. You know, I could walk down the street by myself when I was 5, 6 years old up to the corner store and get some candy, and I didn't have to worry about people, coming to snatch me away or kidnap me, and nobody was getting stabbed or murdered or, there weren't guns and things like that then, but today is so different, so I definitely had a safe childhood, lots of kids on the street, and the people looked out for each other, community was a thing back then, parents looking out for other kids and neighbors, and everyone came together as a community, which is you don't see that too much today,
That's so lovely. That's so
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
I know you mentioned your dad.
yeah,
Um, I don't want to say other than that because that is a very big part,
yeah.
but have you had any other trauma losses or like kind of instability growing up?
Well, I I lost my husband probably around 8 years ago or so. I lost my husband, and that was tough. That was really tough. That was difficult to navigate there. He was a good man. He was good to me. He provided, and we had our rough patches, and sometimes we didn't see eye to eye. But he was he was a good man overall. Edward, yeah, he was a good man. We met at a dance back in the day, as a school dance. Must have been around 16, and yeah, oh, he caught my eye. He was just so sweet.
Oh,
Good
that's so
man.
lovely.
Yeah.
Um, sorry. How would you relate, like, not relate, but like overall, like, how would you say your childhood was?
Oh, it was great.
Or,
It was
yeah.
great. Yeah, it was a good childhood. I look back with a lot of fond memories. I wish I could just turn back time and relive it because it was just such a beautiful time, so peaceful, and childhood is just so amazing. Growing up and the freedom of being a kid, just amazing. Yeah.
That's so lovely. Um, let's dive a little bit into your previous marriages and like relationships and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I know you just mentioned your like late husband Edward.
Mhm.
How about we talk a little bit more about that? How about you tell me a little bit more about Edward?
Well, he was oh, sweetheart. So we met, yeah, at the school dance, and I must have been around 16. I think he was a year older, and we were at the dance, and I remember he caught my eye because he was a really good dancer. He knew how to swing and groove, and he was great. And I caught his eye, and then shortly after that, we got together and started dating, and we got married by the time I was 19. Yeah. And yeah, I think about a year later we had our daughter, and yeah, no, and things were great. It was a different time, and as we were getting older, and women's lib was becoming a thing, and seeing that, I understood and realized, I can make my own decisions. I can be my own person, we didn't quite see eye to eye on that at times, and sometimes we'd fight about that a little bit, right? And he wanted me home and cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids and making him dinner and all this, right? That I'd get tired. I'd get tired of it, It's a lot. It's a lot being a stay-at-home mom and having to do all this work, and so it was tough at times. We didn't always see eye to eye on that, on me wanting a little bit more of that kind of freedom, right? Seeing all these women during women's lib being able to, you know, do their own thing and pave their own way, and I wanted in on that, and he wasn't too much of a fan of that, so that we kind of butt heads a little on that, but aside from that, he was sweet to me. He was good to me. He treated me well. Yeah,
It's lovely.
yeah.
So I know you mentioned the like him kind of having a little conflict with you
Mm,
wanting to correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah,
Like this is just like the way I kind of can think to word it, but want to kind of be your own person and
yeah,
like kind of you like
yeah.
go out there, experience other things.
Mm.
Would you say that caused, well, conflict or maybe some domestic violence or something like that?
Well, you
Anything
see,
along those lines? Sorry.
yeah, no, and you see, like back in the day, that's you know, we didn't have a word for domestic violence, right? And when I talk to people now about it, they say, "Oh, that was domestic violence." And I'm thinking, "Well, no, that's just the way it was." Like, if I would, talk back or something and, he'd slap me and then that was just how it was. I didn't think that was too much of a an issue. But, I've after talking to my daughter about it and, some friends and realizing, oh, well, that wasn't quite right, I guess. And, it's just all I knew. And that's all was taught, and seen from past generations, my parents' parents, right? And so I just thought it was normal, you know. But, yeah.
Um, I wonder if you would like to maybe talk to a DV counselor. I know I have a lot of referrals and references to those if you would like to check it out. We can talk a little bit about that in later sessions if you don't feel comfortable, or just if that's something, do you think that's something you're open to looking into maybe?
Yeah, that does sound like something I'd look into. Yeah, I would be open to that. Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
Who would you say is your strongest support right now?
Well, definitely the members of my church group. They really help me through hard times when I'm faced with you know, difficult times and a lot of struggles. I'm able to talk to them. They're really sweet to me, and they yeah, they're good folks. They're always there for me when I need it and can talk to me. And yeah, I'd say they're my strongest sort of network there. Yeah.
So good to hear. Have you said like have you noticed any maybe changes or like differences in any of your relationships since you've become the primary caregiver of your grandchildren?
I have because with all this kind of extra kind of stress going on and obligations, I find maybe I'm a little bit more kind of quick to temper and a bit, maybe not as there for the folks around me as much because I got to be there for the grandkids and for myself, So I'd say there's a bit of change and with my daughter too, we don't always see eye to eye on the way I parent, right? And so there's been some difficulties there and challenges with those relationships, but uh nothing too major, but definitely a change, I'd say. Yeah. Mm.
And how would you say that your relationship with your daughter is now?
Well, it's complicated. I'm upset that, she's incarcerated. It's devastating. You don't want that for your kid. You want them to be able to thrive and grow and be, part of the family and involved. But, and I understand, everything that's happened with her. It's not her fault. I can't completely hold her to blame for it, but you know, it, it's complicated. I still love her and I still care so much about her. It breaks my heart that, she's got to be locked up, but uh, I'm still very proud of her for how she's handling it and how she's, you know, able to be resilient through it. And yeah, it's definitely changed. I've had to step into this role as a parent to these grandkids, and so it can be challenging. But despite all of it, I'll always love her and care about her, and I'll always be proud of her. You know. Yeah.
So I know you told me that like you're obviously the primary caregiver of your grandchildren.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit more about your like current living situation. Like who lives in your house with you?
Well, so I'm there with the two grandkids. They're 7 and 10, and we got a little dog, Percy. He's a sweetie. My grandson really wanted this dog, and we saw him at a SPCA. We thought, oh, they just got along right away, right? So we brought him home, and he's a good little guy. You know, the older one helps me take him out for walks and clean up after him and take care of him and feeds him and yeah, it's just the four of us if you include Percy and yeah, it's a nice little family we got going on. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. I love the little instilled little values that you
Yeah.
have. I love how your boys help.
Yeah,
It's so beautiful. I
absolutely.
love the little family
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah. Well, I said to him when I got him, I said, if we're getting a dog, you got to help take care of the dog. It's not just going to be your grandma taking care. It's a big responsibility, and he understood, and he stood up to the task. So I'm proud of him for that. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
lovely. Would you say that your house is stable? It definitely sounds stable, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stable as a table. It's good. Maybe it needs a little bit of work done. I'd say maybe it's a little outdated, but it functions, runs fine. Thinking maybe at some point I'll get the windows replaced, but maybe later down the line. It's okay for now. Yeah, it's still pretty good.
Beautiful. Do you have any safety concerns, maybe with like the neighborhood or like where you're living?
No, the neighborhood's good. It's a safe environment. Lots of kids on the street that they all go out and play ball hockey with and kick the soccer ball around. There is one guy down the end of the road who's always loud and I mean he's further enough away that, we're not too bothered by it. He's a little bit of an odd guy, but nothing too major that makes me feel unsafe for myself or the kids. And that's huge, right? You want to have a safe place for the kids to be living. So it's overall it's safe. Yeah, I'd say it's a safe time, safe place. Yeah.
Beautiful. And with your arthritis, would you say that it's physically manageable? Like, are you able to move around your house and everything?
Yeah, well, it's a bungalow, so I don't got any stairs to worry about. Um, Only stairs are in the basement, and that I just avoid going down there unless I absolutely have to. But the stairs for me are a killer, and I got the water softener down there, so I'll get these big bags of salt. I get someone from the store to help me load it in my car, and then I bring it home and sometimes the 10-year-old will lug that down to the basement and fill up the water softeners for me and or a neighbor will help me with that. They're really good. And yeah, and if I need something down there from the freezer, I send the kids to go grab it. So, I just yeah, it's I just it's not too bad, if I absolutely have to get down there I can, but I avoid it if I can. So yeah, that's pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
completely understandable. And do you receive any help, like maybe a personal support worker that comes over and helps you out, or anything like that?
Not at this time, no. I'm doing all right for now. Maybe something I'd look into later down the line. If this arthritis progresses further, something I might have to look into. But you know, they're I don't even know where to start. Getting a personal support work. Yeah, I don't even know where to start with that. So but yeah.
If you are considering it, I can give you a reference,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, there are tons of references
Oh,
for personal support workers, and they are
okay.
really good. And
Yeah.
we can do it next session, we can do it the section after, we can do it even this session. We can call all of your referrals this session
Yeah.
after we're done. And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
are you comfortable with
that
that?
would be good. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
For sure. That'd be great.
And what is your highest education?
Well, so I graduated high school and I was with my late husband at the time we were dating. And then I decided, oh, I would love to go to beauty school. I love doing hair. I do my mom's hair all the time growing up, and me and my friends would all sit and braid each other's hair and do different types of styles. And so I thought, let me try out beauty school. And it was really fun. I enjoyed it. It's a good time, and I really loved it. I just wanted to be like a beauty queen, and but, a little bit shortly after getting into beauty school, I got pregnant and, I had to drop out, unfortunately, and beauty school dropout, much like the Grease song. So, but it was fun while I was there, but just wasn't in the cards for me at that time. I got the calling to motherhood, and that's what I went with, you know. So, yeah,
It's completely understandable.
yeah.
Did you deal with any learning difficulties or disabilities while growing up or anything like that?
No, the only thing is I hated math. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And I had no use for it. I didn't want to do it. And I think I failed math one time in high school, but and then I retook it and I think I got a 50 on it. I said, that's fine. I'm over it. But I could read, write, kick the ball around in gym class, but I did not want to do math. It just, oh, awful, awful. But no, everything else was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Mm,
great.
yeah.
And do you think your grandkids are well supported at the school they're going to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the teachers there, I meet with them, every few months for the parent teacher interviews, and they're good teachers. I think they're just great. It takes a lot of work to be a teacher. I see that, and especially some of these kids today, right? Trying to get them to learn can be very tough. And now, my youngest might have a different opinion. He's a little bit of a class clown and a goofball, and he thinks one of his teachers is quite strict. But I think they're just trying to do their job and teach them and get them to learn. And again, you got to respect your elders and authority, and that's just how it is. He gets all hopped up on the sugar before class, and he gets in there and runs amok in the class. But you know, they're all good teachers, I'd say. Yeah, they're good.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How, tell me a little bit more about how you support your grandchildren, like when they come home from school.
Yeah, well, they always got homework,
Mhm.
tons of homework, these kids, which, it's good. You got to get them learning. And, we'll sit at the table and do their homework. And, so different these days, how they're teaching, math. I, I don't understand it at all. Like, the way that they're teaching math now versus back in my day is so different. Sometimes they got to teach me, we got to learn together. So it's a lot of learning for both of us, right? And some things are easier to teach with them than others. The reading and writing and all that. But we sit and we do our homework together and do that every night before dinner. And I go to all their meetings with their teachers and listen to what their teachers are saying about how they're working and just try to support them in their education as much as I can. It's so important, right, for kids to be educated. So it's yeah. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. I love how dedicated you
Oh
are.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Years. Do you have any military service yourself?
I don't
No.
know, but my father did. Yeah, yeah, what a good man. He fought very hard for this country, and I'm so proud of him and everyone that's lost their lives in the war to keep us safe today. Yeah, he's definitely a hero in my eyes. Yeah,
It's so beautiful.
yeah.
Before you ended up retiring, where did you end up working?
Well, so after I had my daughter, and then I was off with her for a bit, and then I went to work. I worked at a little paper company in town, and it was all right. It was a bit of a boys' club, a lot of you know, they just didn't treat women the same as they do today. Women were just treated like second class citizens. And, I'd go to them about, well, how come I'm not getting paid as much as this guy? And they go, well, you're a woman. And it's just shocking. By today's standards, shocking, but just that's how it was back then, right? And so I was there for about 15 years. And, I did see some change in the company, which was good, but eventually I grew tired of it. And, yeah, so I left there. And then let's see, I went to go, I worked in the library for about another, I'd say close to 15 years. I worked in the library. I did their bookkeeping and a lot of their record keeping and stuff like that and a bit of customer service and it was just great working in the library. I love to read and talking with people about books and directing them to where they got to go and yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful place too. Really beautiful, nice windows and lovely hardwood flooring, and just not like these new libraries that are all modern and ugly looking. This was a beautiful library, and yeah, I made a lot of good friends there and good coworkers, and the pay was decent, pretty good, and yeah, and then yeah, that was my latest employment. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Did you retire voluntarily or was it more of a health reason that you had to retire?
Yeah, well, it was, sort of to do with my health. The arthritis started getting bad, and it came sort of time where I was taking so much time off work with the arthritis that I thought, okay, maybe now, and I was in a pretty good place financially that I thought, all right, I could retire, and yeah, I did end up, retiring and they were good to me. But had it not been for the arthritis, I would have stayed, and stayed as long as I could have because it was a good job. Yeah, good folks to work for. And yeah, yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Do you miss working?
I
It definitely
do.
sounds like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. It gave me purpose. It gave me a reason to get up and go and be out in the public and stay within the community. Like it's a really nice time. It was good. They were yeah, I enjoyed working. Yeah, it's really nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do you receive any child support?
yeah, I do. It just went down a little bit because the oldest turned 10 and they only give you a certain amount between certain ages. So it's about, I want to say about $450 a month, which it's all right. It's something, right? And I'm grateful for that. It helps out with, you know, groceries or whatever. And yeah, there's a bit of assistance there, which is good. But you know, yeah, every bit counts.
Yeah. Are you able to meet your monthly expenses every month or
Not quite.
no?
I still have a little bit of debt I gotta pay off, and I do worry about it a lot. It I struggle with that, and thinking about that does give me some stress. And how am I going to make this next payment? And, what do I got to give up this month? And telling the boys, oh, hey, we can't buy that yet. Wait until grandma gets her next pay. And so, there's some struggle around that. But, you just do what you can, right? Yeah. Mm.
I do know of a really good financial advisor.
Oh,
If you would like some references as well that I can add
yeah,
on to that,
that would be
would you?
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that.
And
Thank you.
then we also have references for OSAP, or sorry, not OSAP, OW,
Okay.
which you could also apply for.
Yeah.
And would you be interested in that one as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
beautiful.
lovely.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
of course. And do you get any assistance? I know you receive your retirement check, but do you
Mhm.
receive any other payments other than that and other than child support?
No, that's
No?
that's about it.
Okay. Alrighty. So, do you have any diagnoses or mental health that you've been diagnosed with from a mental health practitioner or anything like that?
No, no, I don't. And I'm not too familiar with this whole mental health thing. It's such a new age kind of sort of term. I know I do get stressed out and I get anxious. It keeps me up at night. And, sometimes I'm just beside myself with, these feelings of worry. But nothing I've ever really talked to anyone about. So, no, not that I really know of.
Would you be interested in maybe taking a look or diving a little bit deeper into that? Maybe checking out a mental health practitioner or doing something like that, or even maybe getting like mental health counseling, like specifically for mental health and like your worry and your anxiety and stuff like that. Would you be interested in something like that?
Yeah, I'd be willing to give it a try. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm open to that. Yeah,
beautiful.
that would be good.
And sorry, do you have any addictions such as like tobacco, alcohol?
No, no, well, I used to smoke back in the day, right? And we had these menthols that we'd smoke, and all those were so good, but you can't find them anymore. And then I just gave up. I couldn't find them, so I just said whatever. But you know, yeah, no, it's
That stop recording.
no, I didn't.
Oh, floating.
No, I didn't.
Um, and how would you say that you cope with these, like that stress and kind of anxiety?
Um, I talk with my church members, and I try to just relax, read a book, hang out with the grandkids. They make me really happy. They're good kids. Yeah, they help with the stress quite a bit, I'd say. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Um, and when were you diagnosed with arthritis?
Oh, probably around 8 years ago. 8 to 10 years ago, I'd say. Yeah. Yeah, it started in my knees, and with walking, and started moving up into my hands, my fingers, my joints, and since then it's just been, oh, brutal. It's brutal.
That sounds extremely difficult. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to hear. How does it affect your like daily functioning?
Well, I can't run around with the kids as much as I used to. Well, as much as I could with my daughter, and I can't go for nice walks like I used to, or ride my bike, and just doing certain movements and things I just steer clear from. It's painful. Waking up in the morning, and oh my God, my knees are so sore. I gotta pull myself out of bed, and I'm hobbling around. I feel like I'm 80 years old, and I'm only in my early 60s, so this is just, it's crazy. It's nuts. Yeah.
Do you attend any regular appointments for these? Like go see your family doctor often?
Not really, no.
No?
No. He's been my family doctor for quite a few years now, but uh I know he's getting ready to retire, so he's kind of on the outs, and I gotta think about getting another doctor at some point, and oh gosh, what a mess. you know. So we'll look into that, but
Well, yeah, I could definitely help you with that as
oh
well.
yeah?
Yeah, I could
Oh,
definitely help with looking into the mental health practitioner as
yeah.
well as just a regular everyday practitioner.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Beautiful. And because you are like the guardian of your grandchildren's, are you the legal guardian? Like actually,
Correct.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. And has CPS ever been involved either like when your daughter was first incarcerated or currently still involved?
Yeah, so yeah, they when she got incarcerated, they needed to figure out where the grandkids were going. So they came to me and said, "Hey, like what would you think about bringing them in?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely," because I won't see them in foster care, and their mom doesn't want that either. And so yeah, they brought them in to live with me, and they'd visit every month to check in and make sure things were good. And They were lovely. They were good workers. They want what's best for the kids, as all of us do. So they were quite good. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And are you in any like open court cases or anything like that currently?
No, not at
No.
this time.
Alrighty. So, what do you like to do? Like, I know you said you like to bake, crochet, go to your church. Do you like to do anything else in your free time?
I love to read. And I love just sitting on the back porch with some tea and just watching the bird. I love bird watching. It's quite fun. I sit
Yes.
out there and I note down all the birds that I see, and I got a nice bird feeder out there, and I get a lot of blue jays. They're beautiful, beautiful birds, and these little finches that come and visit, and their little chirps, and they just make my day.
Oh, that's
Quite
so
nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
How often do you typically get time to yourself?
Well, when the kids are in school, I got time then, but it's a lot of time of, running around and cleaning and cooking and groceries and all that. So I'd say maybe about an hour or so a day I get, just to relax and take it easy in between all that. Maybe an hour or two a day. Yeah.
Beautiful. And do the kids do any recreational activities or anything after school or stuff like that? I know you
Yeah.
mentioned that soccer, like you
Hmm.
wanted to go into soccer.
Yeah. Yeah. They stay after school sometimes. Um, uh for like it's like a day after school daycare thing they do um when I got my church meeting, so they once a week, but yeah.
Beautiful. And are you interested in kind of looking for like more community things to
Oh
like get them
yeah,
in?
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
And I know you said that you're involved in your church. How often and like how involved do you go?
About 3 times a week or so, on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, and then on Wednesdays in the afternoon, I'll go over and see my folks there, and like great members of the community all there. They're just excellent, really good support system. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would say that they're your emotional
Oh
support and
yeah,
like yeah, they provide a lot of emotional support for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like do you guys provide any like support like such as like warm
Oh
meals or
yes.
like yeah, like
Yeah.
clothing drives and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, do you sorry, are you like kind of implemented in those? Like do you yeah,
Oh yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Um, and what are you most proud of?
Well, and even despite, all of her challenges, I'm proud of my daughter, being able to go through what she's going through right now is tough, but she does just amazing. I'm proud of her no matter what. And my grandkids, I'm so proud of them. They're so smart and such good kids. They really are were raised well by my daughter, and and I'm proud of my community, my church group. They're really good folks. Yeah, they're yeah. I got some real good people in my life.
It's
Yeah,
really amazing.
yeah.
And sorry, what are some positives that people like tell you about, like say about you?
Well, that I'm a great cook, a great with baking, and real good sense of humor, and that I've got good morals and faith. Um, and that I'm a kind person. Yeah, which I value a lot. I'm very proud of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is your community church your biggest support or your only support?
I'd say, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely my biggest support. Neighbors too are supportive too with me and helping me out. So yeah, a lot of good support there. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And what kind of helps you stay resilient? Because you are just shining through all of these, like, it's insane, it's gorgeous, like, it's
Yeah,
so inspiring.
yeah. Well, Jesus. That's what
Yeah.
helps me stay resilient. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
does it.
There you go.
So, just to like summarize a little bit, we did go over a lot today, such as like your childhood, your late husband Edward,
Hmm.
your daughter, your grandkids. I'm just gonna give you a couple of recommendations, like
Hmm.
not give you, but like refer a couple, and you could let me know if you're like open
Yeah,
and yeah.
for sure.
So, what do you think about DV counseling? Do
Oh,
you think that
yes.
would be a good one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good. Something good to explore. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you, like, I know you mentioned your finances and quite a lot. So do you want me to check into the financial
Oh,
support?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, please. That'd
financial
be great.
support and like as well as the advisor and the OW?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I would love that. Yeah.
beautiful. And do you want me to check into that community center for you just to double check
Sure.
when they have those free rec
Yeah.
nights?
Oh, the kids would love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And you want a mental health and a like physical practitioner?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. That would
yeah,
be just great. Yeah.
beautiful. Am I missing anything that we've talked about or skimmed over any resources that you can think of that maybe you want to try and reach out to that we can definitely make a call to?
Yeah. No, I think you've covered all of it. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds
Beautiful.
great.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you for sharing all that you did today. It really is courageous and it takes a lot, and I really appreciate it. It really helps build the rapport between us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really just appreciate your strength. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'll see you next
you. Yeah.
week.
We'll see you next week. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.